Yeah.
My coworker and I, my colleague and I, we decided we met like I think right after I had this last podcast with you,
Okay.
and I'm new to this online space of like 4 months. I think June I started, and
Hmm.
I met this beautiful woman in Bali who was like, we had one meeting and we connected so hard. We've been running our 21-day intimacy exploration adventure. So it's 21 days of exploring intimacy with ourselves. It's
Mm.
really amazing, actually. And I can't believe we pulled it off 2 months in a row. And we had great results and testimonials. And we've like, it really is amazing how it changes just a little bit for every person that joins us. So it's really cool. And anyway, we try and do this time zone thing. Like tonight we have Motivation Monday in our paid membership group, but it's Sunday for me at 7 p.m., but it's Monday for her
Right.
at at I don't know, I think it's about 8 or 7 a.m. for her. Like we're across the world, and we coach a 6-week program we started as well, which we launched and started last week. And for us, in order to be in the same day that I'm on at 7 a.m., and for the people in the UK that we're coaching, it's 4 p.m. And for
Mm.
her, it's 11 p.m.
Mm.
There's like a lot of times we just took a class and it's like 2 in the morning for her, and she wants me to meet with this other person, but it's 3 in the morning for me, and it's, her 5, 7 in the afternoon. The
Mm.
time zone thing is just like, I feel like I'm constantly chasing time zones, but it's super fun. And I think it's really great. I'm always in her yesterday and she's always in my tomorrow. So it's super fun.
Time traveling. Time traveling is awesome. Now,
Mhm.
again, let's remind the people you are a sex coach. Sex, which one?
Yeah, I'm a Tantra practitioner and a sex educator. And my goal is to create divine human connection through sex and sensuality.
Mm. Okay. That's what's up. Now, the lady that you're referring to, is that the blonde lady that you on Facebook with from time to time?
Yes,
And she's
she's
in,
Eugenia Liberty.
okay, in Bali.
Mhm. Yeah,
Bali.
and she's been a passion and intimacy coach for the last 4 years. And so it was really just amazing when we connected and we just had like really great ideas. And like this next planning, we planned about 6 months of our business together, just like right off the bat. And she was like, oh my God, I've never planned this far in advance before. Like we just connect and it's just amazing. We both have the same views and goals and support each other 100%. It's like, man, I feel like I talk to her so much. I feel like she's my sister now. She's just like right there. And we coordinate business a lot on the same like manifestation. We'll do meditations together and think about what we want to create and come up with these ideas together. And it's just a unique way of doing business with somebody across the world and, through a computer or a phone. It's just really a wild, but I just love her so dearly. It's just, I can't believe that she landed in my world. I was asking for somebody to work with that was a really divine person and super open. And man, she is all of that. So
Right. That's
yeah, we
good.
talk about all the things together.
That's good. That's good. I remember you were telling me that you were trying to do the retreat the last time we spoke. How or did that work out?
I have not done that yet. And due to our world, falling apart, it might be a while before I'm able to do that. So I've been reading and researching a few online retreats and how to do that. So that's really cool. But we've taken the step, and I guess you could say I do a 21-day retreat and our 21-day intimacy exploration where we dig deep into you and get to know your body. Our main clientele seems to be people who are overcoming a breakup and seem to have lost themselves in a relationship and don't even know who they are anymore. So
Mm.
the people that they are attracting is like the same person in a different body over and over again.
Mm.
And so
It's the aura.
we're
It's their aura.
well, it's like your belief systems, right? You have to
Mhm.
change some things within yourself in order to create something different. But when we realize that we're just attracting the same thing over and over and over again, at some point our brain just goes like, why do we keep doing this? What needs to happen for me to not do this? And we've been able to create this with a number of people in just the 21 days. It's really been super powerful in being able to shift that mindset of you deserve what you want, not settling for less.
Well, how do you purge and break that cycle? Like if a person at, what do they say, a serial monogamous, right? Is that the term for it? So I break up with this person, and it was toxic. It was toxic because I didn't know myself, and I was just more into the lust. And so then the next person that I'm with is hot sex again, and here it is. I'm selling myself short because of the drama that I'm going to endure or put up with. How do you break that cycle from wanting to satisfy the flesh and the physical and actually take care of the mental as well as the physical?
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're doing. And it takes 21 days to change a habit, right? It takes 3 months to like really get it out. And, let's just say you're a smoker and you quit smoking. They say it's 3 months before you actually have really quit it, but it takes 21 days to break the habit. And sometimes our mental state, like what we think and what we believe, it's just a mental state. You have to get past that. So it's getting out of your own way, trying new things. And I mean, we have a lot of fun in our 21 days, but we also get really real. My goal there was to, okay, let's take a look at, one of the biggest things that I find people have the hardest issue with is boundaries.
Right.
And so, you're attracting that same person because one, you haven't really thought about what kind of person you want, and you haven't gotten real with yourself about that. And two, we have no boundaries. There's no saying no, or if somebody says no, they get offended. They don't know how to honor somebody's no, like if you don't want to have sex one night, let's say, right? And then all of a sudden there's like, oh, you don't love me anymore because we're not doing it. Like sex isn't related to love, but it could, and it does for some people. And I do think that it can, like, if I have a little argument with my mate, the makeup sex is amazing. You know what I mean? It can also solve issues for you too. So it's kind of like that confused thing of where are we attracting what we're attracting, and what do we really want? And we really get you to dig deep, but we have a lot of fun. We dance and we celebrate, and we we make sure.
I see you running naked in the woods with your mate. So
I don't need no clothes on. I'm surprised I'm actually wearing clothes for this podcast. When I saw myself, I'm like, oh, I have clothes on. This is unusual.
Yeah. Well, just wrap yourself in a green cloth the next time, and you can shed the clothes, then just have a screen, and we'll just see your face in like one of those wonderful backdrops.
Oh, yeah. That's usually all you ever see on screen is like from me here up, because I'll have a sarong on or something in case I have a little fall of the camera or something, because I'm always telling the people we're coaching, like, guys, if there's a nip slip, I'm really sorry, but really not sorry. So I'm a liberal person when it comes to being naked. I just don't care. Like if I showed you I got a little side boob hanging out, there's no bra under this, there's no nothing. I'm
gonna invite you to a virtual topless happy hour.
Ooh.
And I just talked. So the last person that I interviewed, J. Marie, sex coach, she has a virtual topless and in-person topless sip and paint coming up on the 26th. So when I get that information for you, I'm gonna forward it on to you.
Yeah.
That might be fun for you.
Absolutely. That would be fun for me. I have a sign outside of my front door that says clothing optional beyond this point. And my son is like, well, can I just stop by? I'm like, you can, but if you want me to have clothes on, I suggest you send me a text. And he's like, copy that. So it's pretty open about how my nudity is just a thing. I'm not shy. I have nothing to hide. I love my marks on my body from having children and my little saggy boobs and whatever. But I love my body. There's nothing wrong with it. And, that's something like we all just cannot accept our body in the form that it is. And that's really what my goal is, to get people, it doesn't matter your size. I've worked with women who are large. I've worked with women that are skinny. I've worked with men that are large, men that are fit. And a body is a body, and it loves to be nurtured and touched and adored like any other body.
Mm.
The touch has nothing to do with the size of your body. It feels so good.
Well, this is actually coming full circle for me, because I'm getting the other 180 from the previous conversation. Because see, we was talking boob jobs, the fear of boob jobs, the scars left behind, from breast augmentations and things of that nature. And so for you to say that the body is the body, it's a little different, because a lot of people have a hard time buying into that with the self-care and the self-love. So man, I tell you, and then also the other part of it was we were talking about the stigma now, where people are like, how much time is enough when you're having sex? Is it 15 minutes and you're done? Is it an hour? And is it, because we were saying, as we were maturing, it was about the longevity
Mm.
in the
I
past.
think as we get older, it's about the longevity.
For some, but now with the
Yes.
but with now with a lot of the the new age people in bed, and like I've heard women say, "Hey, I'm not taking more than 15 minutes of sex."
Well, then she has not received an experience. Like honestly, I was on that little dating scheme when I had divorced my ex-husband, and I decided to do that dating thing. And honestly, guys just want to do it. That's all they want. Get it up,
Right.
get it in, get it out. Don't mess my hair, do stuff, right? And then I took my Tantra training. And then all of a sudden, an experience with me sexually became 4 to 8 hours. And I would tell them, like, to this day, if you're going to have a sexual experience with me, it's like a minimum of 2 hours. If we're just having an experience, if we're going to have a little quickie, we need to talk about it, because I actually need to mentally prepare myself that there won't be all of the things that I enjoy in that moment. So minimum of 2 hours, up to 8,
So
because
you
it's an experience. It's not about sex. There's a lot of touching, there's a lot of kissing, there's a lot of massaging, there's a lot of loving, and like learning how to massage each part of the body, including the genitals, and how to provoke a male orgasm. To me, that is one of the most enlightening things that I've learned. And I absolutely love watching a man have an orgasm, not an ejaculation, not getting off, but having a true body orgasm. It is wonderful to watch the movement of their body and their breaths that they're taking, and being able to be in that space. And I've had a lot of men like who have never had an orgasm, and I bring them to that point and they're like, okay, I don't even know what just happened. Because most men don't know that they can have a body orgasm. They're not taught that from a young age. Women, it's all about them having this amazing orgasm. Men are just supposed to get off. And the point of ejaculation is to procreate. So when you take that and you keep that inside of you and you give yourself that life energy, you can use it as a full body experience instead of letting it all go and being drained and needing a nap. And the aftercare that happens after having a body orgasm for a man, because I think aftercare in sex is something that is not even talked about enough.
right.
And women want the 15 minutes and then roll over and go to sleep. Well,
Mm.
they're missing out on that pillow talk, on that love,
Mm-hmm.
on being held. And it's really amazing what communication comes up in the aftercare after you've had an experience with somebody rather than just sex.
Right. See,
There's so much more to it.
after talking to you the last time, see, you pushed me now. So we're going into the empath and the kundalini and all of this wonderful things. I had to go and research after the last conversation that you and I had. And I was like, huh. So now you're saying male orgasms.
Mhm.
We was talking sex toys last show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sex toys can help with the male orgasm, but the man has to want to do it. It
Mhm.
is the male orgasm. The men do have a G spot and it is their prostate. So you do have to be okay. And it's not like anal play where it's like in and out sex, it's not like that. It's very slow and gentle and to the point. And what I've learned about the prostate is like it has like three sides, and you actually only massage the back side of it. You can reach some of it through the perineum and massaging that, but it's really got to be quite vigorous and hard to access it from the exterior rather than the interior. And a lot of men think, oh, does that make me gay because I'm gonna let you stick a finger up my butt? Like there's a lot of that. You have no idea how much men hold that space. And like honestly, I think if every man would just stick a finger up their butt, they'd loosen up a little bit. Like I really do.
Yeah, this coming out Dave Chappelle week, so I'm not gonna take it there.
But that's I mean, that can get it started. But also, I've had men that I've massaged with a tantric massage, and they were not open to having any of the prostate stuff done at all, and they've still experienced a body orgasm.
And
So you don't.
that's my question. Is there any other way other than taking it up the rear?
They have to be present. They have to really show up, and like with when it happens will be during the lingam massage,
Yeah.
and a lot of men will be like, oh my god, I just came everywhere, didn't I? Like, I'm so sorry if that caused a mess. And I'm like, yeah, nothing came out. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I think you just had a body orgasm. When our body is like awakened
It's a
and
convulsion.
flowing.
It's a convulsion.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah.
feel it through your whole body rather than
Yeah.
just in the genital area. It
Right.
becomes, and then it's really important to, I think, hold a man after they've experienced a body orgasm because it's so new to them and they're usually in shock. I've noticed that too. They're like, what just happened? Like, oh my God, like they almost want to run away. And it's like, come here and enjoy this feeling because they don't know the feeling, right? Like when we don't know something and then it happens and it's like, what was that? Oh my God. And then we start judging in our head and just let it happen, like you
Right.
have to really be present. You really have to stop the brain chatter. Men have a really hard time with that. And just tell yourself to shut up and be in that moment and really enjoy and feel. Men shut off their feelings a lot
Mm-hmm.
and feel it. You got to feel it because when you're actually in that present moment, doing the breath work, igniting the Kundalini energy, doing the proper work, you don't need to do the prostate work. Some men it helps get past that point and some men don't even need it. So I can't say that like I know what you would want because every man is so different,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also so the same. All that I know is that the men enjoy the touching and somebody doting on them. I think it's about receiving. Men don't get to receive, they have woman says I want sex for 15 minutes. Well, guess what? He's going to put out for 15 minutes. Where in there is he receiving? What does he get out of it?
True. True.
Yeah.
True. And I think for men, a lot of times it's all about who you're with. It's
Mm.
definitely all about who you're with. And it's all about how far they will allow you to go with them.
Yeah.
So if
And
you
are they going to participate or are they just going to lay there or do you have that conversation beforehand or do you just figure it out when you get naked?
and that's where we at now. I mean, a lot of people need to be more they need to be more intimate in the sense where if you stop partner hopping, I think
Mm.
you stand a better chance of enjoying sex more and having these feelings that we're discussing now because once you have an appreciation for that person, you're looking beyond the physical. Then you
Mm.
can look beyond the physical. Then it's more about the fulfillment at that point. And a lot of people never get there because they're vain. They're chasing the looks. So, above and beyond how attractive that person is in that moment, whatever body oil they can put on or panties or as they say, negligee, all that good stuff. And when it comes down to it, and when we're in the buff, I think we're even at that point, no matter what.
Mm.
And so many people have those mental blocks because they want red underwear, they want straps, they want as a
Heels. Yeah, there's all the
heel,
dress up stuff.
body
But you
tape.
can have that, just make it an experience. Enjoy that body. Slow
Yeah,
it down.
yeah.
Like touch that body all over. If you really want it, go get it. I
Mhm.
don't ever say stop. Show me you want it. And then the cool thing, if it is that type of relationship, you also get that moment to receive it. It's not going to be just about me, because I really feel that that's what happens in our sexual encounters,
Mhm.
is it's about one person. Oh, I got to make her orgasm. I got to make her orgasm. And then she could fake an orgasm and you wouldn't even know it. And then you wouldn't talk about it, so you'd never know it. She just would never talk to you again because, oh, I just faked an orgasm. I wasn't telling him about that. Girls have their shit too.
Well, it's like going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? When you come to the gym, hey, we're there for that experience. I mean, at
Hmm.
least I think most men are trying to not strike out, and they're trying to make sure. Well, no, I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth with this one because they're trying to make sure you're fulfilled, which I know is bullshit because they're just really trying to get off, the majority of the men. But I'm not on that side of the fence, so I've always swung the other way in the sense of trying to make sure that person is fulfilled and then get mine.
Yeah. And
Because
that's how it
if
should be, I think, in any relationship is, and having that conversation before, like even with my mate, I don't have the 4 hour nights because he works and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, we're doing this week. There's one day a week. Whose turn is it? Yours or mine? We take turns doing the receiving because we both deserve it. We both want it. And we can't get it all in one night because honestly, it's 4 to 8 hours with me. So it's like a long time, but that 2 to 4 hours that's spent just with that one person, and then making sure the other person gets the same. And that's what I also recommend in relationships when they're trying to rebuild, maybe after years of not talking or whatever, that empty nest syndrome that comes in when the kids all leave and they are looking at their husband or wife like, who are you? I don't even know who you are 18 years later. Right? It happens. I get them to explore themselves and each other naked. And it's amazing because in that 20 years that they've been together, they have never even done those things. Never once did they stop and say, how can I serve you tonight? And I mean, I talk about 4 hours, but that could include a meal, me feeding you, the massage, a bath. I'll give you a bath. You can give me a bath. It's whatever you desire in that moment. It's your turn this week. What do you want? And my mate's not really open in communication. So we have a little notebook and I'm like, hey, it's your turn on Thursday. What is it going to be? And I get little notes. I'd really love a bath and I'd like this for dinner. And I make sure all that's set up, right? It's not about the naked experience, it's everything leading up to that. And then he gets his massage and we have our intimate time or our sexual time after he feels like he's really received. And
that's
in
that's
any
that's awesome. Like I know we touched on it, but I never really thought about it like that. If you could really sit down with someone and you come to this agreement and you like have this little book sitting around and write down your thoughts. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's something, that's a concept that
It
I'm
really works, even with people who are new in relationships. Like I have one lady, she doesn't even know how to talk. Like she's like, I don't know how to do that, but she can tell me what she wants, but she can't tell her man what she wants.
right,
So I'm like, okay, get a book and ask for it to be your communication book, and you write down what your wants and desires, and then ask him to do the same.
right.
And then they come back, and she was like, oh my God, that actually worked. Because
Mm,
some people can't actually say it but they
right.
want to because we need to be heard and
Hmm.
we want what we want,
Right.
and you don't want to be like, okay, you want to start exploring bondage in a relationship, say, and your mate would never ever think that you would want to do that. Well, is your relationship open and strong enough that you're allowed to have new ideas so that when you write in there, be like, hey, I want to learn some bondage, some rope tying or some whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Are you open to that? And then if you get a message back like, you fucking sicko, no, like you don't want that, right?
Right. Well, I mean, that's cool in itself. Like I said, it's something worth trying, just to explore and do something different. Now, with the when it comes to romance, or as we say, how important is music? And
Oh, I think that setting the environment is definitely important. Music, candles, you gotta set the mood. You definitely have to. I do think that has a lot to do with it. Like sometimes I'll play like sexy songs like Marvin Gaye and that kind of stuff where it's all like talking about sex stuff. And then sometimes I'll just play some jazz or some classical or some meditation music, whatever it feels good. I'm never really one for like putting on the heavy metal and going at it. So
no Van Halen, I can't get no Van Halen.
yeah,
It's,
not then. I like Van Halen, but not in my romantic encounters.
I think, and that's the thing. So like we're in a time now where how many songs are actually slow and there are not a lot of ballads made. I mean, unless you're
No.
looking at independent artists or something like that. And I think because that's been taken out of the equation for, oh, it's been a long time since it's been
Yeah.
soul, sensual, ballad type music. I think that's where love is lost.
Well, then you get songs like WAP, wet ass pussy. Like, is that really what it's about? Like,
But
eh,
but see, that's what I'm saying. That's the give and take.
yeah.
So now what
But
happens?
that's what's being portrayed, right? It's like
Right.
that's what all of the kids are nowadays. They get to see all of that. They don't get to feel like Celine Dion or Marvin Gaye or those really good tunes like back in the 70s,
Right.
when they were getting it on in the 60s and the Beatles and like if you actually stop and listen to that music, it's really, really amazing. And it makes you feel on the inside where
Yeah.
like the music that I hear on our radio sometimes today, some of the lyrics I enjoy, but some of them I'm like, man, you don't even feel this music. Like it doesn't hit your soul. It doesn't
Now,
ignite you.
and that's the see, and that to me, that's the shitty part because now I think so many people are angry. The violence is up. Um, the lack of respect for one another isn't there
Mm,
because no one's singing the tunes about it. Talking is great, but like even some of the feedback that I get about my podcast, the way that I put the music behind it, oh man, it's so good that you put music behind it. It makes it more enjoyable, easier to listen to, as opposed to just listening to people talking. And I was like, okay, cool. That's not my thing, but that's the way I creatively put the show together on the audio side of the podcast because that's what the people have told me they appreciate. And I
yeah.
and I say that when it comes to all of the things that you've disclosed to me, I just, for people like it's so quiet in the bedroom.
Mm, yeah. Communication is so important. Like, are you able to tell your lover that you don't enjoy what they're doing, or are you going to lay there and take it? And then afterwards be like telling your friends, oh my God, he's so horrible in bed.
Right.
You're going
But
to blame that on him, but you didn't say, hey, do you know what? If you just slowed down a little bit, maybe took a breath or like
mhm,
did this, could you give that a try? But
yeah,
then there's also the fear of the man being like, what? You don't like what I'm doing? You could just be like, no, actually, I don't. I'm trying to get you to do what I like because not all women like the same things and men think that they do. I know we have the same parts, but some like to be touched differently than others. It's not the same touch for every woman that works.
well, that's what porno
So
teaches us, though, right? Porno.
that's all porn teaches us. And it also like you gotta have this big ass dick and you gotta
Yeah.
squirt everywhere. And that's just so unrealistic and love making in the bedroom. And like, yeah, like looking at your man and being like, oh, come all over me. And then he can. Like, really? I don't even I maybe know like one dude that could possibly do that. Like, it's just not real.
It's not
It,
real.
it
It ain't real, y'all. I'm
it
telling
puts
y'all, it
things
ain't
in
real.
our head, and you have to.
I've tried many times. It ain't real.
Yeah, you gotta learn your lover. Like, I know men too. Like, I have one friend who says, "Oh well, even if it's a bad blowjob, it's a blowjob," and I'm like,
No,
well.
no.
Do you want to have a bad blowjob? Like, are you just going to sit there and take it? And then all of a sudden, what happens if you go soft? And she's like, "Oh, you don't like what I'm doing?" And you're like, "Actually, no, I don't."
Yeah, no.
Instead of telling her what you like. But people don't want to have that conversation before they get naked. Tell me some things you like. Tell me some things you want. What do you desire? What are you after? How can I pleasure you tonight? And this is how you can pleasure me. We don't have those conversations. And to be honest with you, turn the damn lights on and look at each other
Ooh.
and get to know and tell each other what you like about their bodies and
But
that you want to
you might
devour
see my
certain
love
parts.
handles though. You might see my love handles.
You better love all of that body, because them love handles are just gonna be so good like later on.
Hmm. Well, now you say you partnered up with the can you tell me your partner's name again over in Bali?
Eugenia.
Eugenia. So Eugenia, what experience are you giving the people over on the digital side in your sessions that you're doing right now?
Well, the 21-day adventure that we do, we're going to run it again in January. It really gets you to know your body. So if you're looking to like figure out what you don't like about you, we get naked, we turn the lights on, we do the stuff.
Y'all do this on live?
Yeah, boundaries. Yeah. Well, no, we don't get naked. They do their naked. It's really cool because our people have really been open, and I've really enjoyed that. But that is the client that I want to attract, is people who are willing to do it and share what happens for them, because a lot of people can't stand naked in front of a mirror and honor their body and look at it and like think about what all of this body has done for us for whatever age we're at. Like, you're 50 years old and you hate your body. Well, for 50 years, this body has taken care of you, whether
Right.
you like it or not. How many steps have you walked on those feet and legs, man? They've carried you through lots, and our bodies deserve to be honored. So we teach them that. We give them new perspectives on how to create fun while healing, because everyone is always like, the healing journey is so painful, and it doesn't have to be that way. We make it fun. We do dancing and praising and lots of support so that you're not alone. And same with our 6-week program that we're doing now together. We just started this. So it's a really huge deep dive of coming out of denial, getting real with yourself, and being able to just, again, accept you in your wholeness that you are today, with stopping all of the judgments or past behaviors and being able to create something different and have
So
that juicy, passionate relationship you desire so much in your life.
yeah, so it's almost like a holistic form of telemedicine to a certain
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
it could be
Yeah.
seen as that, but it's
Um,
just so fun. It's way
mhm.
better than, I've done a lot of personal development healing, and one of my biggest things was no one wanted to add sexuality to their programs. They didn't want to talk about sex. And so, okay, you were abused, all of these things. Yes, I dealt with the trauma around some sexual abuse I had in my life, but I never got to talk about the sex part. And so that's why I think I am so attracted to the sexuality of it, is because people need to know, and they need to see that you can do your personal development. And when you deal with all those things, you also deal with the sexual side of it, because we're not leaving that out. I refuse to leave that part out and be like, oh, that's another class later when I figure it out. That actually has more power than any personal development does. When we heal our sexual being and we get in touch with that dark shadow and our kinky side and our fantasies, and we accept that and bring that into our reality and have what we desire, guess what? Your confidence is through the roof. Your self-esteem is way up there. You are worth it, deserving. You feel all of those things that people search for in personal development, but you also own your sexuality, whether it's your pussy or your penis, but it's yours, and fucking rock it.
That's
Because
right. That's right.
We are sexual beings. I think is what not baboons. I can't remember the name of baboon. A baboon, I think, and a dolphin and humans are the only mammals that have sex for fun. So why not?
So you mean with all that elephant trunk that the elephant is carrying, they only get erect when they're trying to mate and create
Yep.
children.
Yeah, and I
Other,
just read this thing on bears, and they're like together for like 3 months, and then once she has the cubs, see ya, dude. I'll find the next one for the next mating season. I was like, whoa,
no
bears
child
are
support.
nasty.
Oh man, no child support. That's
She doesn't
hey.
even want it. She's just like, get out. I don't even want you. She kicks the male right out, so she can raise the children and stuff. And I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
not,
it's interesting how animals mate and
yeah.
procreate and versus us. And we want to try to have companionship and live a life together. And we make it so difficult.
We do.
We
And
make it so
sometimes you
difficult.
could just fuck it off, right? Like you're having this little moment in life and you're having an argument with your little mate or spouse or whatever. Just go have sex. See what that cures. Because 9 times out of 10, there'll only be this much of the topic left to talk about instead of this big blow up that you are having. Just go
Mm,
get that energy out.
mm.
We're sexual beings. Go fuck it off. And then come back and we'll see what's left to talk about. Because it heals so much. It heals so much of our body because it makes us feel wanted and needed and loved. And as long as it's coming from that authentic place and not an abusive space, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty in it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Once you have that understanding and thank you, first and foremost for, coming on and giving these type of open talks about
Hmm.
about sexuality, about, enjoying yourself and intimacy, which again, a lot of people shoot it down. They shoot it down. They don't
Hmm.
want to hear it. They're one dimensional and
Well, and they
there's so
think
many.
intimacy is sex, and
Right.
intimacy is so much more than sex.
Yeah. So
Yes, sex is included, but man, there's can be intimacy when you're cooking in the kitchen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clothes on too.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, it's if you are attracted to that person, something is gonna warm your heart about seeing that person. You can have a long day and you're like, you know what? You look at that person and they just light your day up when you come home because now you can forget about all of the BS that you've taken on in your 9 to 5, at the end of the
Hmm.
day. And it's again, we're shape shifting into so many new dynamics and dimensions that we are experiencing post pandemic. Nothing's going to be the same. Nothing's going to
No,
be the same the way, we could just walk around freely without freaking out about, hey, do you have the vaccination? Are you wearing a mask?
so much
That
stuff.
that has created a whole nother phobia amongst
Mm.
people to overcome on a day in and day out basis that whew, love who
Well,
you
yeah,
love.
it's definitely stopped my massage business. That's for sure. With all of the rules. But I mean, I'm really grateful for my online space because I can at least attempt to show people what it's like to have intimacy in their life. And I mean, I take intimacy pretty far. Like I'm intimate with my kids, when I'm sitting there holding my daughter and she's 25 and we're just having a little hug and loving on each other. To me, that's an intimate moment with my daughter.
Mhm.
There's nothing sexual about that or anything. It's intimacy. It's you're sharing love with somebody. You're just
Yeah,
be
I recently learned the power of a hug.
mm,
You just take the person that you care for and you just try to hold on to them for 1 minute, a full
yeah.
60 seconds hugging them, and the impact, the change, where that person
And,
knows,
and do you hug to the right side?
hey, I'm just starting, I'm learning.
Here's a little